if their identity is shaky, sometimes what happens is that our students, they overcompensate. Overcompensate is that, you know what, just because of maybe as fully American. So what does that mean? If their colleagues or classmates are going and doing something which conflict with the principles of Islam, right? Such as, let's say, drugs, alcohol, dating, these type of things. In order to feel like they fit in, some of the Muslim students, they do engage in these actions. So there have been studies done with students talking about, okay, look, no one's being judgmental towards you. We just want to know what led you down this path of drugs. What led you down this path of alcohol? What led you down this path of, immorality and these type of things? And a lot of times what happens is they say, right, we felt like we didn't belong, we felt like we didn't fit in, we felt like we weren't understood, so in order to fit in, we started doing these things. And these things are so severe that sometimes, it doesn't matter why a person starts, these addictive behaviors, they have lifelong consequences at times. So as parents, we need to understand, first thing we need to understand is that we all have limitations, okay? If I asked some of the people that grew up overseas about their experiences of growing up overseas and their schooling and their education, there's certain things I would not be able to relate to because I didn't experience that. So it's not fair for me to come to you and say that, okay, I have to impose my American upbringing on your upbringing and say that this is how you should have lived your life. That's not fair, right? Similarly, there are certain things that your children will be going through, being born and raised here.
Assalamu alaikum. Just a reminder to all teachers to take attendance.
That you may feel like, you know what, this is completely odd. Right? I don't understand this, right? So Islam tells us, yes, there are certain values, such as respect, such as, etiquette, manners, that are cross-cultural for all time, all places, things like that. But there are other things, right, that sometimes they're different. Even, it's not just a cultural thing, it's generational as well. The more I'm teaching in the schools now, and the way that students are talking, it's just like, look, I went to school here, I was born and raised here, graduated like 13, 14 years ago from high school. And I would be like, look, that'd be so different, like when I was here. Does that necessarily make it wrong? No. But it's different, right? So we have to understand how to deal with these people, how to deal with our children, and how to interact with them. And we have to adjust so that the proper values, the core values that we all hold dear, are passed on, and they're able to implement those same values in the environments that they're going to face, which are very different than the environments that we faced growing up, right? If our parents told us that, this is haram, don't do this, then it's like, okay, look, my dad said, this is something that I can't disobey the father. If my uncle finds out, if someone in the community finds out, they'll go and tell my dad, and then, back overseas, there's a different discipline way than here. Here, it's like, okay, no, how are they ever going to find out? No one's going to find out. If they find out, I can tell them somebody else, and they'll get in trouble too, so everybody tries to cover each other. So we need to dig deeper. It's not just what's haram, what's not allowed, but go on beyond why. Because it's harmful to you. Talk about damage and consequences, these type of things. So if we don't get involved, then what happens is that we're going to lose faith, and many students do, right? And we're going to lose the morals, integrity, and because of the addictive behaviors, we're going to lose our children's lives. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but it's reality. This is a reality, but again, what did I start with? Our students are bright, our students are talented, our children are, they have unique capabilities and potential which need to be harnessed, which needs to be guided. But for us to say that, no, we're not, everything's going to take care of itself and we don't have to get involved, we don't have to get, no, this is not how things work. We have to get involved, we have to get engaged. How do you do that, right? And now, inshallah, I'm going to shift it over to Sister Saima, that she's going to be talking about how to do that, because it's important. Everybody understands that, right? That the situation that we're facing, the attack on the faith, attack on their identity, attack on the morals. This is all happening. So how do we protect our faith, protect our identity, protect our morals, and make them strong, confident Muslims in America that they can be ambassadors of Islam and successful in the society that they live in, and pass it on to the future generations, inshallah ta'ala. So inshallah, Sister Anna's going to present now, and then we'll have questions and answers, inshallah ta'ala. Jazakumullah khair. Subhanakallah wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
Number 4, please do not open the windows.
So as a teacher, there were lots of times where I was struggling with a child for different reasons, or I felt the child was challenging, but once the parents came and talked to me about certain specific reasons, my relationship with that child changed completely. In fact, it went the opposite direction, and I developed a really close bond because of the communication that parent had with me. So once I became a mom, I wanted to be that parent that was involved in my child's life in school so that the teacher could work the best way possible to benefit my child. So that's where I was coming from the very beginning when they went to public schools. 3 kids right now. One is in a junior in high school, one is an 8th grader, and one's a 4th grader. Alhamdulillah. So ever since they were in kindergarten, 1st grade, I would go and be available. So a few things. So again, I'm no expert. I'm just sharing the things that I've done that I've seen benefits and have helped me. So I'm just sharing those with you. Again, I'm sure there are lots of you who are doing way more than this. So this is just providing you a skeleton, and then of course you inshallah make it your own experience and you put your personal touch onto what ideas that I feel are working for me, inshallah. So again, the first and important thing is introduce yourself. So in the beginning of the school year, even now if you haven't done it in the past, introduce yourself to the teacher, to the principal, to the person who's receiving your child in the morning, opening the door and getting, so hi, how are you? Thank you so much. Constantly you're introducing yourself, and instead of just standing back and waiting for them to come, and they might not come to you. So you should be the one who should be introducing yourself to the principal, to the teacher. I'm so-and-so's teacher, and so-and-so's parent. Crossing guard, and so try to build a healthy, friendly relationship with your schools, your students, your children's staff members. And of course, sunnah of smiling definitely will help in that bond building, inshallah, right away. And then be proactive. So what is happening is, most of the time, we are very comfortable in not really doing anything. We drop off the kids come home, most of our kids are academically doing fine, and so we feel that, we don't really need to communicate with the teachers, our kids are doing fine. So maybe in the past we had that luxury of just laying back and letting things happen. Unfortunately, this has become a necessity and an obligation. It was an obligation, but it wasn't so urgent. But right now, it's urgent, and it's an obligation, and it's a necessity that we are proactive, that we're there even when there are no issues, that we're present in the school even when there are no concerns. So we're not going to the school when the teacher calls us for a conference or a special event in school, or we're not just going because there's a concern now. We're going there a lot. And inshallah, I'll tell you some of the things that you can go there for. So again, you're constantly a part of their school life, your children's school life. Your positive presence in public schools gives a very positive image of Islam and Muslims. Again, that wasn't an urgent need in the past, but now it is. And then, this is very important. Your participation in school affairs boosts your child's confidence. And what is happening recently and in the recent past too, that your children don't tell others that they're Muslims. They hide their identity and they won't lie about it, but they won't openly be proud and talking about it. And so when you're there as an active parent in school, firstly, they have no choice. You're there dressed differently and so, firstly, they realize they have no choice but to let everybody know that they are Muslims. And once they know, then they are more involved in trying to establish that positive, stronger identity. So it is very important. Again, it gives that child that boost that you're there helping out in school. And again, when your teachers, like when you go in and you present something to the classroom, and your teachers are talking to you, and they're inviting you, Mrs. Shah, come on in, it's so nice to see you, and then you're passing out some treats or something, and then the kids, will come up, and your children's friends are coming up and saying, thank you, Mrs. Shah, that was a nice story. Again, your children feel really proud of you. And then, of course, proud of themselves, that this is my mom, she's in class, helping my teachers are so excited to see her, then my friends will talk about it. It was so nice, your mom brought cupcakes yesterday, I was so really excited, and they were really tasty. Again, that boost of self-confidence that it's giving your children. As I said, again, in the past, that was not as urgent, but I'm, again, stressing how urgent it is that we're always there. Again, with my youngest, 4th grader, she's been in Islamic school till 3rd grade, and this is the first year she's gone into public school. And so I realized the difference between her personality right now and the boys, because with the boys, I was always there in their public school. This is the first year that Asiya is in 4th grade, and I see the difference in how she says, oh mama, you're coming with me? It's gonna feel weird. And then that's the first time I realized, oh, because I am not as much in her school, because I'm giving more time to the older boys thinking they're going to be leaving soon. And so I better give more time to her, and I'll come back to Asiya later, but I realized I need to give her that strong base right now. So again, I tried to sign up more in the elementary so that she doesn't think, oh, it's weird, you're going in, it's gonna feel funny. Okay, volunteering. So that's the first step. So introduction, like you introduce yourself, you build that relationship. Again, you talk about right, look for opportunities to do small talk. Just, just building a bond where, the weather is really good. And again, I'm saying things that you all know from before. These are just reminders. The weather is really good, yeah, I went to that restaurant that they just opened up. So things like that. And I hope you're staying warm, and just showing concerns, having a relationship, because once we've established that with the teachers, then the next step is just a very normal flow of events. Again, volunteering. So right away in the beginning, an orientation day. Now, again, we don't have to wait for the next orientation day. We can start this right away. But normally it's a good idea. At the orientation day, you let the teachers know, if you have any questions, please feel to ask me. I'm so-and-so's mom. I would really like to volunteer. Can I sign up somewhere for something? And again, even in the school, there are lots of different committees in school. So then you see what your expertise are. And I think the next slide talks about that. So once you sign up for various spots, you will start getting their emails of various events that you can help with. Okay, volunteers when and where. So there's parent-teacher organization in every school. They have once a month meetings. They decide what is going to happen in schools every month. And so they need your help. And so you sign up for that. Then you, again, realize, you see what your talent is. So I'm a good reader. So can I be a reading mom? I really enjoy art, so can I be the art teacher? Like, not the art teacher, but volunteer in different schools. They have, you know, you once a month go in and present an art piece to them. Art appreciation, exactly. So lots of little things like that, that you try to go in your kids' classroom at least once a month, if not more, and do something in the classroom. And maybe you might be the person who staples in the corner. Maybe you're the person who's just filing something for the teacher in the corner, but your children are seeing that you're helping the teacher you know, make the classroom better. Class parties, teacher appreciation. So what I recently did at Churchill Elementary last week, they had teacher appreciation lunch. So I went and helped set up, I bought things for them, then at the end I went and washed the dishes for them, cleaned everything up. I was in the kitchen talking to the other parents to say, oh, your child is in so-and-so, oh, your child is in 4th grade, character crew, yeah, mine too, yeah, she just started floor hockey. So you're just doing small talk and genuinely building a relationship, with not fake, because then fake is, you can tell. So it has to be genuine, that you're engaged with them, and you're doing this first and foremost to please Allah. You're going to get the reward from Allah, no matter what. But it is very important right now that you're seen and heard. So in the beginning, you know, you can do things from home. You can staple papers, or you can, you know, do something for the teachers, or cut something up from home. But it is very important that they see you in school. So before it wasn't like, okay, you know, as long as Allah sees me, I don't really care if, you know, the school sees me or not. But right now, yes, Allah sees us even when nobody else sees us, but at the same time, we sign up for things where you'll have more exposure to lots of other parents and lots of other teachers, like a field trip, where you will see and interact with lots of other teachers and lots of other parents. Look at your schedule and divide your time between various schools. Again, if you have a few different kids in a few different schools, then you know, try to divide that time in different schools. And then again, volunteer in all different schools. And then you can, again, sometimes help from home. But again, right now the need is that you're there at the forefront. Any questions so far? Just okay. Again, very small things. I'm sure, you know, you're doing these things, just reminders. Email the teachers on a regular basis. Give positive feedback to the teachers via email. This helps in relationship building again. So go out of your way to show appreciation. Again, be genuine in your compliments. You know, you don't have to praise the teacher if there's nothing to be, you know, praiseworthy. But of course, we always find something. In fact, recently I was in Pakistan for a few weeks, and then we were talking about the teachers, and we were talking about how the school system is in Pakistan compared to here. And I was just amazed at, if I have a small concern with my child, the principal, the assistant principal, the school counselor, they're all there for you. They're there to help you with your concerns, and they're really genuine. So again, you know, go out of your way, send an email to say, again, with Asya being new at this school, she was anxious, I was anxious, but within the first couple of weeks, I kept writing to the teacher that, you know, Asya is really excited coming to your class. Thank you so much for making her so comfortable. She came from a school of 150 students to, you know, 500-600 students in the school, but thank you, you know, she's making friends every day. And then I specifically went up to the principal to thank her, to the assistant principals, to the front desk people, constantly to say thank you. You know, Asya is really excited to be here. Thank you so much for making this a comfortable place. Again, you know, find little ways to thank them. Show them by your words and actions. And again, show them that you're a really concerned, involved parent, that you're concerned about your child, you're concerned about the school, and you're there to help them in any way you can to help them. Make it a better place for your child and for other children as well. And then once you have that relationship, then when you pose a concern or you have an issue or you ask permission for salah, then it's a very natural flow. It's a very natural conversation. They know you. They say, yeah, sure. We know that you're there for us. So this concern, of course, we're going to be helping you with that. Again, sunnah of sending gifts. This increases the bond between two people, in this case the teacher and your family. Just very little gestures of appreciation throughout the year. A small candle, a flower, a date cookie. Or again, within the Muslim families of your school, organize an Eid lunch. And then that's where you can pass out little information cards about Islam, or just so that you can tell them, hey, we're having a celebration, and they're really curious. They're a little scared of political correctness, and so they're kind of afraid to come to you to ask you. So again,
another reminder to all teachers, please take attendance before the first period ends. Jum'ah.
So again, this helps the teachers in better knowing your child when you give them little things of information. Inshallah, I'll have some samples for that too. Again, be approachable. Have the personality that teachers find comfortable to talk. Be the smiling face, saying hi, thank you, and weather, talk about the weather. Be approachable so that the teachers know that they can come up to you and talk to you, and let them know that you're, I always tell them I love answering questions. So please, if you ever have any questions about my faith or anything related with the culture, please, feel free. And then I sometimes email them to say, hey, if you have any questions, especially because I already have that relationship with the teachers. Once something happens in the news, I sent an email right away to say, hey, I am sure you're concerned. I am too. If you have any questions, I'm here. Once again, you establish that relationship, that's when you can offer Islamic books for their library. And again, I've bought lots of books for them to keep in their classroom, to keep in the high school library, in the world religion section, so then they have information from you, not from other sources, where again, I remember Arman bringing a book about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it was a very mystical, Sufi, drawings, angels flying kind of book, and it was about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he brought it home. I took it as a concern to say, this book is not very accurate, but can I bring you some books? And they were like, yeah, sure. And that's when I got books and put it in their library. Okay, so now going a step further. So this was like more elementary, and of course other schools too, other junior high, but again, this is very specific to junior high and high school. Junior high and high school in various years, they do world religions. And so in the beginning of the year, again at curriculum night, I will talk to the teacher, social studies teacher, and as Sheikh Rizwan mentioned, the social studies teachers are the ones that are in conversation of these topics more than the others. So that's the one you really want to have a good relationship with, more than others. You go up and you say, when you're doing Islam in your world religion class, please can you call me? I would really like to come in and present. And they get really excited because they say, all we know is what's in the book. So if you're there to answer questions, the kids' questions, please, come in and present. So for many years, from 6th grade all the way to high school, I go there and I present the Islam PowerPoint to them. So supposing they say, we're going to do it in February, that's when we cover our world religion section. So then I send an email in January. It's coming up, which day would you like me to come in? Here's the PowerPoint. So I send the PowerPoint in advance so that they're comfortable. Sometimes I'll CC the principal to say, you're more than welcome to come join us. If you want me to come in and talk to you about the PowerPoint before, please, I would like to do that. I would be willing to do that. So send them the PowerPoint so that they know they're comfortable with what you will be talking to about them. But I'm at a slight advantage because I'm a teacher by profession. It's easier for me to do that presentation and kind of judge from the students. If you're just a parent, you have to kind of plan and rehearse before you go in, inshallah. And be prepared. They ask fabulous questions and very controversial questions. So you have to be prepared to answer those questions. Again, students are fascinated after these presentations. They will say things like, I didn't know Islam and Christianity were so much alike. In fact, I remember one student said, how can somebody become a Muslim? So I said, oh, you have to go talk to your parents about that, and you do your own research, and I had to kind of make sure that I was invited again to the school. So they really get really fascinated. Again, I see, when I walk in the hallways of high school, before doing the presentation and after doing the presentation, I see the difference. Because after the presentation, there are lots of smiling faces that will come and say, hi, Mrs. Shah, thank you for coming in. I remember you from last year. So again, in the past 5-6 years, I would say I must have touched at least 1,000 hearts, and may Allah accept that from us. That again, those are 1,000 more kids that understand Islam better than 0 people. So whatever little we can do, inshallah. Okay. High school MSA. Now this is another very good area that you can be very involved and very active. Ask your high schooler if there is an MSA in their school. If there isn't, help them make one. If they already have an MSA in their high school, then talk to them about it. What do? How many friends do you have in that MSA? Who's the teacher that sponsors you? Because every club has to be sponsored by a teacher. In our high school, the social studies teacher was sponsoring the MSA. Now, he still sponsors it, but there's the only Muslim teacher in high school that is now kind of co-sponsoring it as well. Again, encourage them to be active members. Ask them questions. What are you doing in your MSA? What was the khutbah about? Who gave the khutbah? Just be involved so that your high schoolers who don't really want you to be involved, they know that you're concerned and you're there and to help them out when they need it. Again, encourage your child to write in the school newspaper. In March, Islam Awareness Week is coming, and different MSAs.
Assalamu alaikum. First period has ended, second period has begun.
So different MSAs are celebrating and doing this Islam Awareness Week in March. So again, find out from your child when that is going to take place. So again, in our high school, I'm the person, my son's the person in charge of finding a speaker, so I'm helping him find a speaker that can go and present, and how can we, again, make it fun for them and informative, and that will encourage a lot of people to come in and attend this program. Ask your children to write in the school newspaper. Again, talk to the school principal about the MSA too, and then through the MSA forum, invite the teachers and the principal to our masjid programs, because our masjid hosts lots of different interfaith programs. And so, again, our high school principal has come several times, and teachers, to the Ramadan program that we used to have a few years back, and then to the different interfaith programs in our masjid. So take advantage of that. Through this, because I have a good relationship with all the teachers, and I'm constantly in their faces, and hopefully in a positive way, the English teacher in the high school, who is in charge of the school newspaper, told the newspaper editor to get in touch with Arman's mom, which is me. So she called me and said, can I interview you? I've already interviewed the high school students, but I need an adult perspective. And because he knew me, he knew the name, I always said I love answering questions. That's why when that time came, he thought of my name. And then of course I talked to her over the phone. And again, after we were done with the conversation, she said, oh, you know what, I don't have too many resources, so I sent her the Quran, I sent her lots of Why Islam pamphlets, I sent her date cookies, I sent her a little pretty sequins purse, and then in a big like goodie bag. So the next day again, she called me, she thanked me, and now we already have this relationship of comfort, of, yeah, you know, I didn't even know what you're saying, you know, I wish I knew this before, and I'm really excited talking to you about this. School international nights. Almost all schools do something like this during the year. Either they'll go to different continents and countries, passport night, and where they will display lots of different countries, and they will ask you. And if they don't ask you, then you go and say, hey, what can I do? You know, I can represent this country. And once you represent that country, then you can make it really extravagant and beautiful. Lots of, you know, colors, and especially a lot of Muslim countries have a lot of colors with bangles and henna and food, and, you know, just maybe some baklava, which they're, again, comfortable with. And so little things, and I took my wedding dress and made it look really glamorous, and then I had a henna station where I was just doing a smiley face or a heart on their hands, and I had the hugest line in the whole school. And the principal came up and she's saying, what are you doing that, you know, everybody wants to be in your booth, in your station. So again, little things like that. Again, after that, I was very popular in the elementary school.
What is international? I assume you were doing it out of Pakistan, probably?
Yes.
What does that have to do with, or henna, what does that have to do with Islam?
Nothing. It's culture. It was a cultural thing, representing the country. So because there's lots of mehndi done in Pakistan, so I was I had the cricket pictures out, I had different food pictures out, I had bagels, I had, you know, but then that was a relationship building time. It wasn't a dawah time. It wasn't like, hey, I'm a Muslim, you know. It was, yes, Pakistan is a Muslim country, but that was, again, at the bottom I'm saying was a relationship building opportunity, not really, I'm telling you about Islam. Because that kind of has to come a little bit later, and I've learned with my mistakes, actually, that if I am aggressive, and if I talk about Islam right away, then they get put off. So unless I build a good relationship with them, I'm not really going to talk to them about Islam.
What if someone doesn't come from doesn't come from a Muslim country? What would you recommend they do that?
I didn't understand.
What if someone doesn't come from Pakistan or from a place that is quote unquote Muslim? So are you saying just represent the country in trying to build a relationship? Or ultimately, I think I'm trying to understand what you're saying, in that you're trying to get to Islam at some point.
Yes.
But if I come from a country, let's say it's India or Mexico, it has nothing to do with Islam.
Right, still represent your country. Yes, you're just building that relationship. Maybe it's got nothing to do with Islam, but you're just building that relationship.
I just wanted to add to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, she chose to be in a cultural event. I have done where I went in what I do at work. So I'm an engineer, so I talked on a profession day.
Right.
So you can, so the bottom line is to build your relationship first, build that trust first, so that you can talk to them about anything.
Yes.
That's the key here. So you just choose what works for you. Country is an example.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think what you run the risk of is you emphasizing your culture, not religion, in terms of how you, for example, you may wear something because that's your culture, and for me to understand Islam in that way, that as an American, what they typically interpret that as is, that's your culture.
Yes.
That has nothing to do with connecting with me or applicable to me.
Right.
So, and I think at a cultural level that makes sense.
Yes.
That's good, and I think I agree with you. However, I'm just trying to see if you're making a connection with Islam also there.
Right. Not really. Not really. Because I could.
Yeah.
I did eventually, but not really.
Yeah.
Again, expertise. You know, if you can, again, in the beginning too, I had a slide where look what your expertise are, and then help the classroom with your expertise. So you can say, you know, I'm a dentist, and so anytime you would like me to come in and show the children how to brush their teeth, can I have a day like that? And so just go in, and again, relationship building, nothing to do with Islam, and you go in and then you pass out toothbrushes to everybody and show them how to brush your teeth and build that relationship. And do you understand? Yes.
Yes, I'll give you an example along the same lines. Let's say that the school international night is there, and there is a Muslim brother from, and this is one of my classmates in Azhar, his name's Abdullah Santiago. All he's doing is representing Colombian culture, but passively, the implied thing is there's Muslims in Colombia, right? So that's the message we're trying to get across, because what's the predominant thing? Is that Muslims are Arab, Arab are Muslims. So when you participate in this, not necessarily, you're not saying that I'm a Muslim, Pakistani, and things like that, but people understand, okay, hold on, I didn't know there were Muslims in Indonesia. You're a Muslim, you're wearing the hijab, but you're talking about Indonesian food, you're talking about Colombian food, these type of things. So that's a larger picture, is that just to let people know that some of the stereotypes that people may hold about Islam being geographically bound is not true. Right? If there's African American Muslim representing some things from their culture, Hispanic representing some of their culture, right? But they're saying that I'm Muslim, then that makes a difference on people.
Yeah, Jazakallah. Just a couple more slides, and then quickly we'll move on to formal question answers and discussion, definitely, because I'm sure all of you have really good ideas too. Okay, so district diversity group. This is again a step going up the ladder. To say, as a school, do you have a diversity group? How can I be, if there is a diversity group, then how can I be a part of this diversity group? Now, I've been a part of our Oswego, actually 308 diversity group for the past, I would say, 6 years now. And again, I'm the only Muslim who's representing the Muslim students. There are lots of African Americans, there are lots of Hispanics, and they're very concerned. Again, we're very lucky that we don't have as many problems as they do. They are still struggling with academics. Their students are not really valued. They're in really good positions, but their children are still stereotyped after so many years. So when I went there, I said, ooh, my concern is very small. And actually not academics at all in the big picture. But, and so again, be that voice, give your opinions, make sure that they're implemented through this diversity group. I've represented the Muslims. Again, this benefits your kids, and then after your kids are gone, the diversity committee, the goals that have been implemented, what's being done will be sadaqah jariyah for you, because they'll constantly be done. Through this forum, I've given Islam presentations to all the principals in the school district. And for them to hear about Islam, I take the approach that it's a sensitivity training, diversity training, so that you understand your Muslim students better, why they fast, why they do have to do their salah, why they wear this, why the girls and the boys together cannot do a project all the time, or why some kids might be bullied because they don't have boyfriend, girlfriend, or why they're fasting and things like that. So through this diversity group, I've been able to, again, get in touch with the principals, and the principals, the goal is to trickle it down to every single staff member. So next week we're taking, again, the goals to the board. Once it's approved, that will be in the system where every single teacher sees my presentation, which is recorded. And then again, being that people to say, if you have any questions, I'm here. And then I was also a part of the principal interview of our high school. Again, that's such a great blessing from Allah, to be in that room of 10 people, and you're one of the people asking questions from your next new principal. So once that new principal comes, he will see me in the hallway and he'll be like, you're one of them who picked me. So here I am. What can I do for you? So again, that's a very powerful place to be in, and that gives your kids a lot of confidence that you were one of the people who picked the new principal. Social Studies Department, again, just a few weeks back, I constantly am saying, how can I help you? So the Social Studies Department, when they have their weekly meetings, they said, here, we're giving you half an hour. Come talk to the high school social studies teachers. So then I went in, I took date cookies with me, I took halal marshmallows with me, and lots of information to say, if you have any questions, when can I come in and talk to your class? And so they were saying, yes, this week you can come in, this month you can come in. So again, using this forum for that. Again, resources. I've written down a few letters that if it's Ramadan, what can you give to your teachers as information? If you need Salah spot, what kind of discussion you can have. Eid al-Adha, Eid al-Fitr is in the summer, but inshallah later on that as well. Food restrictions, please make sure that my kids are not eating this. Again, I have a little note for that. Again, those are little things that I have done. You make it your own. You make it personal. You change it any way you like. This is just a little, again, skeleton for you. Again, the Islam PowerPoint presentation that I give to the students and the sensitivity training. So all those, inshallah, will be posted somewhere on our school website at some point shortly.
Yeah, so we can have all this available on the school website or on the CMS, course management system. The second option I think we can do for those who have attended, we can take the email and we can email it to you. So I think we can do that as well. Now we're doing Q&A, right?
Yes. Just quickly, I just wanted to show you this, like the Islam presentation that I do for high school kids. So just little things. These are, no, not little kids, sorry, for junior high and high school. So inshallah, we will put this up.
And we really would like you to share ideas. Again, as I said, we have Chef Rizwan here in the next 10 minutes, so we can spend on Q&A. And any other ideas along with this topic, please do share it. Second, as I said, right now we have planned to have the next event in the first week of March that's related to drug abuse. I think we know someone who has done a program 2 years ago for Al-Fada Academy. It was a very shocking stats were shared at that time, but we would like to have that for parents this time around the program, and then we'll extend that to the youth. If any specific topic that you would like to see for us to address, let us know. Inshallah, we'll take a note, and then we'll have work with Chef Rizwan and present it to the parents. Okay. And Q&A and discussion.